Hi, welcome to another episode of Conversations with Eminent Women with myself, Tsehohajo Moahi. Do remember that we want to hear from you, so do subscribe as well to our YouTube channel. It is Conversations with Eminent Women. This is a platform where we speak to women doing amazing things in their spheres of work, wherever they may be. And today we find ourselves in Pretoria and we speak to Major Tebogo August. Her name is Tebogo August, but because of her being in the SANDF, we have to add her ranking as well. Good. Hi, Major. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Very well.
Hajo. What a name.
What a name indeed. Thank you so much for joining us today. Truly appreciate it.
It's only a pleasure, my darling.
So I want to start off with who Tebogo is. It sounds so weird for me to say it like that because we have to respect the rank, right? You and I spoke off camera how your rank becomes your first name, actually. But who's Tebogo? Where do you come from?
All right. So I am Tebogo August, like you said. I am a Hammanskraal born lady. I'm a mom. I'm a kind service provider. I am a public servant. I am a proud author. I am also a public speaker. I'm a firstborn, by the way, meaning leadership to me came at a very young age. I'm also a staunch believer in finding new knowledge. So if you are interested in words like I am, then you've got a friend.
So let's talk then about that leadership role. You growing up in Hammanskraal, and where it then started for you to be a leader as your siblings were born.
So I've got a younger sister and two brothers. I went through my primary school being called scribbler because you would find me scribbling everything, from poetry to words that I find interesting. And teachers being teachers, I respect teachers because the ones that I had really had the calling for that particular task. And they saw a spark in me at a very, very young age. And they verbalized it. They told me as such that one day you're going to become something. We don't know what, but you're going to become something. And I internalized that, I immersed myself in that message to a point where I would walk like a leader. I would conduct myself like a leader. Like I didn't want to disappoint any of my teachers. Fast forward, I find myself as a debating team leader in high school. And that leadership role was top class for me because that's when everybody knows you at assembly. Forget the fact that I'm a singer at assembly, so I'd pitch a song here and there. But the fact that I was the debate leader, look, I I flew the flag before I knew that the flag needed to be flown.
Yeah.
So that it comes quite natural. And the fact that my grandparents actually believed in what I told them, that I'm really serious about school and I'm really serious about changing the narrative around Hammanskraal as an area where I was brought up. Because what you're socialized to can be detrimental to your future, depending on how you perceive your surroundings. But I thank God that they believed me when I said, nah, I'll be something. Because I was told from a very young age by my teachers that for sure, we can see it. Just accept it, work towards it, and it will be yours.
I want to then touch on that because your mom was a teacher, right? And I want to touch on the importance of having that support at school. What did it mean for you? Because children spend so much time at school with their teachers. What did it mean for you when a teacher said to you, look, you're going to be something?
So I understood her, Memokwena. I understood Sophie Mokwena. Bless her soul. I think she has retired. She was at Kekana Primary School then. I understood what she was saying, but I think I was too young to understand what she was planting in my head, or in my heart for that matter, because she was laboring in love. And I saw that. I wanted to be her. I really, really knew that if I was to become anything like Memukwena, then I would have made it in life. My mom understood that a school ground must be more than sport. A school ground is a place where you forge friendships. But moreover, you understand the dynamics of where everybody comes from. So you go deeper when you are trying to make friends. You try to understand that it doesn't matter what I ate last night. All of us here are going to become something. And the fact that she believed me when I said, Memukwena said, I'm going to become something, actually endorsed what Memukwena said, because you really become a community child. You really become what everybody wants to see, positivity. You exude it, you ooze confidence, because there's nobody who can teach you how to become confident unless you feel it from the inside and then it oozes out. So when teachers like those are not the ones that we are seeing nowadays, bless them and tell them. When you see something good in somebody, tell them. So the teachers that I had, I actually went back and told them that, you know what, wow, may you live longer. May light and love always surround you. Because what you did for me, I'm not sure you understand.
But that wasn't the case for the longest time for you, right? You being this bold leader. You speak about being an author, and it's in your book, where you were bullied because you got injured. Talk to us about that.
In the book, my book is titled No Longer Wearing the Victim Badge. In the book, I write about an incident that happened while I was home. I was bit by our dog, and I think I was 6, 5, 10 and 6. When that dog bit me, we were just playing around with our dog. It was a very kind dog. I don't know what happened on that particular day. So the dog bit me. You can see I've got a scar just below my nose. And I stayed in hospital for the longest time. I think I was a resident in that hospital. I think a good 9 months.
Sure.
Because they had to do what they had to do, and it was not easy on a child. Fast forward, I go back to school. I've always been scared of worms. So because our school had pit lanterns, I was afraid of using the bathrooms there. And the fact that you are scarred, and now you've got this additional thing, you always have to run out the first. You're always the first person to run out of class so that you can go home and relieve yourself, because the bathrooms are not bathrooming. It becomes tough. So bullying was a very tough phase in my life, because one, kids are very curious. They'll ask you questions. So what happened to you? Why were you not at school for so long? And because we had just been exposed to initiation schools, we always knew that all those who were not at school for extended periods of time were at initiation school. So they were like, no, did you go? You know? And you're like, no, I was in hospital. And nobody believes you, because no, people who leave here unannounced, they just disappear. We know that they go to initiation school. So I had to grapple with that as well, to say, no, I'm a Motswana, I don't go to initiation schools. So you fail to have the language to deal with bullies when you're coming from two different spaces. Because I come from a space of love. I come from a space of healing. And now I go to school and I find that it's a war zone. Thank God to the teachers also, because I've never lost my voice in all of that. I'll always, tell on the bullies and say, can I be protected, please? And needless to say that most of those bullies, I meet them up on the streets, and they're part of the streets. So it's
Sure.
that.
How do you handle bullying now in your adult life?
I don't take kindly to rubbish. I don't. I really don't. I've got very limited space for small-mindedness. I've got a whole lot of grace and kindness towards not knowing. But you doing something that you are conscious about and knowing that it's wrong, I am the first person to call you out. Nicely though. I'll engage you. Because I believe that for this world to become a better place, we need to enhance more on talking, conversations. Especially when we disagree, especially when those conversations are uncomfortable. Because how else are we going to know where you're coming from with what you believe as opposed to what I believe? Bullying has no space in my time, in my life. And it doesn't matter whether it's a relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's no. I'm very vocal around that, and I believe that there's so much bad that is happening in this world. We must not add to it. Every day, make a conscious decision that I'm going to become a better person, or I'm going to go outside and just bloom.
How are you teaching your son to handle bullying? And how not to be a bully as well?
Yeah, he's only 16 months. I can see that the tantrums are starting and they are allowed. There's going to come a time where we're going to have a serious conversation around the fact that he's now at creche, and kindergartens can also be hellholes because it starts early. So you tap into that soft space that he has, but you also make sure that he understands that if it's not okay with him, then nobody should touch him. If it's not okay with him, then he does not want to play with. If it's not okay with him, then don't hug the teacher. Because half of the things start there. Our children tell us everything that we need to know. We learn a lot from them every single day. But we are the same people who will be like, no, just hug Malume, man. Just hug Malume. Malume is from Bila. He's from far. And you're like, but my child is saying they don't want to. So what happened to the definition of no? When my child says it's a no, it's a no. And I'm not going to negotiate around that part, because he will also be a very weak man if he does not know what a no means. And that is not the kind of son that I want to raise. It's enough that our prisons are filled to the brim. I would not want an addition to that.
It's interesting that you speak about no. And I love how you are literally segueing me nicely into the different topics in your book, right?
I know.
Let's talk about a violation that you went through as you speak about no, right? Saying no. Just share that with us if you're comfortable to, of course.
Yes, it's also in the book, No Longer Wearing the Victim Badge. That also motivated the title of the book, because for the longest time, I walked around with a badge of victimhood. And that is because at the age of 5, 6, a lot happened in my life at that age. My mom's cousin, my uncle, you know how we uncle everybody in our communities. But that was a very close family member. Sexually molested me. My mom had a very tumultuous relationship with my stepdad. So one day, I was sent with this uncle to go and fetch my mom's clothes from where they were staying, because they had a fight and whatever. My mom had to leave that place. So here am I following him. He's pushing a wheelbarrow, because the wheelbarrow we will put my mom's clothes on the wheelbarrow. We can't be carrying black bags all the way from the place that my mom used to share with my stepdad. Fast forward, we get there. He walks in first, and then I follow. He packs whatever. I help. We packing my mom's clothes into the black bags, refuse bags. That's what I mean. And yeah, I just felt something covering my face, but more so my mouth, like this area. And he grabbed me by the hand and just threw me on the bed and sexually molested me. I felt everything. I felt every hump. I felt his breath. I felt every ounce of energy that he was using to break me apart. And that he did because, remember, the door is still open. But we are in the bedroom now. I could feel people walking by, people passing. I could hear their voices, but there was no way that they could hear mine because my mouth was covered. Whatever that was, it could have been a pillowcase or something, I'm not sure. But I'm telling you, I died that day. Literally, I died. And I died because I felt my spirit leaving my body. You know when people explain to you that I can feel that I'm going to die, and they give you their last messages? I think I had a very intense conversation with God that day to tell God that, it's fine, it's okay. I think 6 years was enough. I think this is it. Because I am sure I'm not going to have any energy to walk back home. But God being the God that He is, we walk back home. He's still pushing the wheelbarrow. Oh, well, before
There
he
was
left.
no conversation.
No.
Nothing was said.
No, he did say something. Before he got off me, he said, if you dare tell anyone, we're going to have trouble because this mom that cannot control this guy, you're going to lose him. You're going to lose her. So I'm going to kill your mom because anyway, nobody's going to believe you. So try me, you'll see. That was the conversation. Then pushing the wheelbarrow out, we were walking back home. In my mind, the only thing that is keeping me sane and alive is the fact that there are flies that are singing behind my thighs because obviously I'm bleeding. And the wheelbarrow, the sound of the wheelbarrow, the sound of the wheels of the barrow. And those are the only things that I was concentrating on, because each step that I took meant that I left bloodstains everywhere I went. I remember we got home and I saw my grandmom sitting under a tree at my grandparents' house. And he pushed the wheelbarrow on to approach the house. So I stayed behind with my grandma. And I said to her, I need to bath. And she's like, no, man. Remember, at our grandparents' homes, all our cousins are there, everybody's there, so we all bath at the same time because, we have to put water on the stove and then, so that everybody can do the bathing with the same water that will be boiling on the stove. So my grandma was like, no, so you'll bath after. And then when I turned, I think it's the blood stains that showed. And my grandma called me aside. And that one was still in the house. I still don't even say his name in the book because I think he does not deserve me mentioning his name. He knows. My grandma was like, is it time to have a conversation around menstruation? And I said, no. Why? And she said, but look, so let's go inside in my bedroom. And we went there. My grandma had the whole pep talk around menstruation and whatever. I don't know what she said, but I know what I said because I told her, he was on top of me. He opened my dress and he did something here. I think I saw my grandmother turning pink, as black as she was. I think I saw her life lingering out of her body. I think we both died. And she went outside, banged the door behind me, went to him and said, "Out of my gate. Out of my gate. We will talk about this with your family, but out of my gate." The one thing about black families that will haunt you for the rest of your life is that important conversations are held in the house and not at the police station. Some conversations are not meant for the house. There are conversations that you can have at home and there are conversations that you need to have in court.
You can have both in both places.
Depending on how energetic you are. But go and look for help. I think my grandma didn't go to look for help because I also contributed to that. I said, you know what? I want to finish school and I want to get the hell out of here. Okay? You are going to promise me that nobody's going to hear about this because he said my mom's life is going to be in trouble. Can you do that for me? Also, I don't see myself anywhere near men at a police station. I've never seen a policewoman. Do you understand? I've never seen a policewoman.
It's the fear.
So me being at a police station somewhere, I mean, I'm one of those people who were, I was there when police came to our house looking for my uncle because he was a freedom fighter. I was there when they kicked the doors. I was there when they ransacked the house, when they took our pots and our supper and threw it out because they really, really thought we knew where my uncle was. The same people? Must I go to the same people and talk about what happened to me today? No, I don't think so. Maybe one day, but not today. And also, my cousins are not to find out about this because I don't want to be treated differently than any other. Can I just have my normal life, please? If there's anything like that. And yeah, my grandma died with the secret.
Why did you put it in the book? Why did you want to then speak about it in the book specifically? If nobody else knew, if you swore her to secrecy, why say, I'm going to publish it and there could be repercussions to that?
Yeah. We've been silenced enough. Enough. Every other day, you learn about 600 women being raped in a day in this country that we love so much. I don't know why we can't have conversations around this issue, but also act on this issue. I don't know why the conversation is around, but women need to talk more. Where are the men? I think we've done enough talking. I really think we've done enough. Actually, we've done enough everything as women. We've spoken about this. We have marched about this. We have advocated. We have even put ourselves at risk to say, I'm you. You are me. So I thought, you know what? I'm not going to be silent about this anymore. If there's a niece of mine, nephew of mine somewhere sitting, they must know that they must grab this bull by the horns if they ever meet a monster anywhere, female and male. A monster is a monster. They must say that I don't want this. And if you continue doing this, you're going to get reported. But also, it's nice these days because people are outed everywhere. And once you out somebody, it's not even about recourse. It's about the fact that you are hoping in your heart of hearts that this person will stop on their tracks. If not, then you have saved a soul or two. Because when we keep quiet about important things, history rewrites itself. And when it does, you have absolutely no control over what happens. So you've lost that control. I had to regain my power. I had to discard the victimhood. I had to understand that although I was not a parent then, when I wrote the book, I had to understand that there are generations here that we need to rewire on the issue of sexual molestation. And if I'm not part of that voice, or if I'm not part of those voices, then what's my purpose? I'm a firm believer in retrospect. I'm a firm believer in the fact that nothing happens to you for no reason, good and bad. I might have been told that my mom will be in trouble for this. But I think, actually I know that he used my age to his advantage. He knew that I was going to believe him. The fact that he's not mentioned in the book does not, as in his name, does not negate the fact that I'm aware of the fact that he could still be doing what he's doing.
Sure.
It also does not mean that I'm afraid of what might happen if I mention him. He knows. We had this conversation 3-4 years ago. I listened, but I'm not interested in anything about reconciliation. If there was no book in existence, I'm sure the conversation with him wouldn't have happened.
Sure.
So I'm good with adding my voice to the voices that are loud around this issue. And I'm good with having been a victim at that age because now I've got a chance to remother myself. Maybe even through my son, the lessons that I will teach him going forward. Because it's important that when you step on top of a hot coal, the lesson shouldn't be that you're bent. The lesson should be that next time I'm going to tread carefully. So that's where I am.
I mean, we've now gone very heavy on your childhood, but I'm sure there were some really sweet moments, that you just that you keep reflecting on, even as a mother. Share a bit of those with us.
Right. In high school, I finished high school when I was 15. I turned 16 having been out of high school already.
Sure.
And that is because back then, my grandma was also a principal. So back then you would just walk into a principal's office and say, my grandchild can actually write her name. They can spell, they can outdo your grade 3s.
Wow.
Do you want to see it? Grandchild, come in. And that would be me. I'd be rhyming, I'd be singing, I'd be on poetry, I'll be everywhere, I'll be, counting up to 100. So I got to school when I was 4.
Sure.
I got admitted when I was 4. So my childhood was very... Anyway, while I was in high school, I won a... What was it called? I think it was a German... No, because I was the president of the debate team. We had a competition with schools around the Northwest. Hammanskraal then was Northwest.
Yeah.
we had a competition around the Northwest, and BMW was the sponsor. So whoever won that competition was to be given a fully funded scholarship to go and study in Germany, whatever in whatever field they chose. So I won that competition, and I was sent to Germany the following year, 2001. And that was the best time of my life because it endorsed my dream of getting the hell out of Hammanskraal, first and foremost. Straight up out of high school to Europe. Remember, I had not been to Mpumalanga, I had not been to the Western Cape, I had not been to any other province except for the Northwest. I knew what I knew. I knew Hammanskraal. So can you imagine the gap? Hammanskraal to Munich, Hammanskraal to Hamburg. You get there and you get asked, yeah, do you know Mandela? I'm like, you bet I do. Do you know Desmond Tutu? I'm like, sure. Why not? Those are our struggle heroes, most. I know them.
You know them.
Maybe not like this, but I know about them.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm off them. I'm off them.
Yes.
I am because they are. Name anybody else. Charlize Theron, yeah, of course I do. Who else do you have on your list? Did you buy those clothes at the airport? No ways. We don't take horses to school anymore in Africa. So those were beautiful memories because that is where I got a chance to go to therapy. Because when I thought, Mama, I made it, in my bag, I had not only packed my clothes. My history, my life, my past was also in that bag. And it happened that on this particular week, for 3 nights, my host mom said, you know, I was listening to you. Every time it hits 3 o'clock in the morning, you cry your lungs out. What is wrong? This is the 3rd night. What is wrong? And I thought, I can't remember. I don't remember. I don't know. And she's like, do you know anything about therapy? Maybe we should, take you to a therapist. And I thought, no. Why are we therapying now? That is not my language. I've never had anybody in Hammanskraal talking about therapy. What are you talking about? Like, I'm not socialized like that. What are you talking about? And then she had to explain, you're just going to sit with somebody. They're going to listen to your inner being. They're going to see whether you're fine or not. Because it can't be normal that you, at this particular time, you are crying this loud. And I was like, yo, if that particular therapist is going to be black, maybe I'll entertain that thought. But where do we find a black therapist in Germany? And it was a tough battle for him. But in a way, it was an excuse as well. Because I was not sure whether how that is going to affect my scholarship. Am I now going to be sent home because now I'm this person who screams at 3 o'clock in the morning? Fast forward, we got a very beautiful hearted therapist, and I'm grateful for the therapy. It has walked the path with me. It has unpacked a lot of things. Like an onion, I could feel us unpacking layer by layer, and I didn't know that there was something called therapy in the world, because my world was very Hammanskraalian. And thank God to exposure, because it will give you things that you didn't even know you needed. Child rearing, I'm a late bloomer in everything, except for my high school life, of course. But life, I've been told that I'm an extrovert. I like my own space. I read a lot. I analyze things a lot. So I've always been, and also I never took men seriously in Niger. Like, look guys, you are here. It's fine. It's okay. Can we just coexist? Like, ne? I'm not taking you seriously. Like, you're not serious. So anything that spelled relationships for me was a no. Until I understood that it was also a trauma response. But when I got married, when I started going out with my husband, I explained that possibilities that I'm not gonna take you seriously, like possibilities that you're just gonna be here. As to me, opening my heart, Joe, I've lost the keys. I don't know. I'm not sure. Fast forward, he became and still is the best answer to my prayers. Even those that I didn't say. Because the first thing that he said was, where can I make it better? Where do I start? Do you want us to start here in your head, in your heart? Where? And because he was open like that, I thought he spoke a different language to the men that I've been surrounded with. We prayed very hard for a son. Actually, we prayed very hard for a baby, any baby, or babies. If it could have been triplets, we would still be happy. Healthy though. And we were married since 2009. For those many years, and we didn't get any answer to that prayer until 2024, where we had our son. That is, look, I have absolutely no words to explain to you what that did to us, for us, because it endorsed the fact that we are entrusted again with making sure that there's a new generation of healed babies, of healed families that is coming forth. And if we are to thank God, like my name, Tebogo, meaning gratitude, that's the first thing I'm grateful for, because it shifted the pendulum from me not taking men seriously to me being a wife. Look, people dreamt about white dresses. I never did. Because now I saw myself outside of South Africa. I saw myself detached from everything that spelled losers. And I was also very specific when it comes to my spec. Nothing that looked like my stepdad. Not height, not sound of voice, not perfume, nothing. Not anything that looks like the guy who raped me. So when we joke around with the things that we want, we must be careful. The power of the tongue is real. It is true and real. Whatever you say, whether you believe in the universe, sending it to the universe, or you believe in God, guard it, because even the jokes that we make about ourselves can find a way to permeate and become part of our trajectory. So because I was very specific, God came through. And he didn't come through with material things only. He made sure that his name will be praised even in lack. Because all those years when we were praying for a baby, I thought it was okay. I thought, okay, we've been trying for so long. Let's just give God his chance. It's okay. We will just mother other children. We will just parent other relatives. But alas, he had other plans, and we're grateful.
I want us to then now shift to Major Tebogo August. It's an army rank. If you're joining us on Conversations with Eminent Women, it's an army rank. She is in the South African National Defence Force. How did you get there?
Yay, okay. 2008. 2008, winter, I get a call. No, before then. I was invited as a guest speaker to a Women in Security conference at Beggars Park here in Pretoria. My cousin, being a policeman, thought I would find it interesting because I had verbalized the fact that I loved what they do, especially with our communities, those community forums, the SAPS programs that involve community forums and stuff like that. So I saw myself somewhere in there to say I want a safe community. I want to belong to a safe South Africa. So yeah, I'm coming to the conference. There I was. At that conference, there was a Brigadier General Tessia Jacobs from the Air Force. And what attracted me to her was the uniform. You know, Mos, when we dress to impress, and it looks grand. So during lunchtime, we are, going up and down, talking to each other, and I approach her and say, "Ma'am, how are you?" She turned and said, "I'm all right, how are you? By the way, I'm Brigadier General Tessia Jacobs from the Air Force." And I'm like, wow, I love everything about what you're wearing. Everything. What badge is that? What rank is this? What does it mean? And she explained all those beautiful things to say, by the way, I'm a director of corporate communications at the Air Force, and this is what we do. We communicate everything that has to do with our mandate as mandated in the Constitution of South Africa. We protect the territorial integrity of this country. We make sure that while you guys are sleeping, we are patrolling, we're securing the airspace so that nobody comes here unannounced to do ill-intended things in this country. So that is who I am. And I said, "Where do you work?" She said, "South African Air Force headquarters at Dekwa Road." I said, "You know what? One day, God willing, I want to be in that uniform." And I could see her eyes swelling up. She then explained that she loved the fact that I said God willing. She's a Christian woman. She understands that I'm sending a message somewhere, and she confirmed right there and there that, you know what, we'll have coffee one day. I was a translator for foreign relations, foreign affairs here in Hatfield.
Before you went to the army.
Yes, when I was talking to the general, I was
yes.
working at foreign relations, foreign affairs here, and translating books from German to English to our native languages.
Okay.
And I told her as such, I said, I love what I do. I love languages, I love words. But I wonder if there's a space somewhere there for people like myself. And she said, we are a government, a fully fledged government. There should be something. There is something. Actually, in my directorate, there is something. Where's your card? I said, I don't believe in cards. But anyway, here's my number. She gave me hers, and I was like, thank you. A week after, exactly a week after, 5 days after, I get a call from a number that I did not even save her number, because I thought one day will be one day. Okay. She said, come to my office, let's have that coffee. I went there. She said, I might have something for you. Are you interested? Soldiering, though, if I should prepare you, is a calling. You will first become a soldier before you become anything. Forget whatever qualifications you have from abroad, wherever. Here, we are in the business of dying.
So you then go through
basic military
all the training?
Yes.
Goodness.
I've got pictures to show. Very, very soldiery. We're in the mud, we do everything. And you are just nothing, because they're trying to get that transition from a civilian to you becoming a soldier. So even if you are a doctor there, you go to basic military training, and they really mold you to become the person that they want to protect this country. Thank God for that, because it dealt with my anger thoroughly, decisively. That anger that I've been carrying growing up, that posture of saying I don't take men seriously. Remember, now you're in a male-dominated industry. What are you saying? Which men are you not taking seriously? Because this is instructions. These are instructions. What are you saying? So I find myself seeing mentors, male mentors, and I surprise myself because I'm like, am I looking at a mentor here? Really? Wow.
When you didn't take men seriously.
No, life is changing. And I want to become like him. If there's a soldier that I am motivated to become like, it's him. It's not her. Maybe there are things that I want to learn from her, but basically, I'm seeing myself as a commander. Here. And there's some space for that. And being a major means that I'm a senior officer in the South African National Defence Force. Remember, the South African National Defence Force has 4 arms of service. We've got the South African Army. They wear the camouflage, foot soldiers. We've got the Air Force. We got the aerial space. We've got the Navy. Those are at the waters. They're guarding our waters and protecting our territorial integrity there. And then you have the South African Military Health Services. Those are our doctors, psychiatrists, dietitians, you name it, we've got it. So I'm in the Air Force. As a result, when I walk around town, people will ask, are you a pilot? And I'm like, very short. Me, my height to the ground. I will never make it because there are requirements to become a pilot, right? You need to be able to, your hand must stretch enough to catch the cockpit. Mine is too short. And that I cannot change. But as a communicator in the Defence Force, as a communicator in the South African Air Force, I love it. Because the people of South Africa then get to understand what we do. They get to see the men behind the machine. They get to understand that their taxpayers are not going down the drain. When there are floods there in Mpumalanga, Polokwane, Mozambique, when mothers are on trees stuck and giving birth there, who else to call? What's your direct line? The Air Force, the Defence Force. Because it is imperative to understand that somebody must do the dirty job. There are people that are called to do this. And when you call them, you will see the impact and the difference. And the people out there, the perception, the story, must not be favorable to one side. It must be balanced so that the story does not come in one voice. When COVID was here, ravaging our communities, making sure that we are left with nothing, soldiers were still on the streets. When doctors were on strike, our own doctors were called to say, go and rescue hospitals. Our people are dying there. When Tatuma Diba was in hospital, take a guess. Military doctors were at his bedside until his last breath. Military doctors. Now, you expatiate on these things and you get to understand that people assume because they don't know. And they've got a right to assume because nobody's saying anything.
But that's my thing, isn't it, Major? That you're in the National Defence Force, South African National Defence Force. I mean, even just that knowledge that there's 4 arms of the SANDF, some people don't know that, right? I mean, I remember I did a workshop with the SANDF for a full week. That's where I met Major Tebogo August. And that's where I learned a lot also about the SANDF. But do you think there's enough communication? As a communicator in the Air Force, do you think there's enough communication that is being given to South Africans about what is the kind of work that you actually do?
You can never communicate enough. You can never. Not in this country when we have 12, 13 official languages. If you're communicating in English, there's a gap. If you're communicating in Afrikaans, there's a gap. If you're communicating to your fellow members, uniformed members, there's a gap. If you're communicating to your friends and family, there's a gap. If you are not correcting people while you're working in town when they're calling you, hey, constable, then you're not doing enough. Because I'll never become a constable. The first rank that I got was an airman. That must tell you that it's in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Our uniform might look slightly similar, but it's not. Know your country, know your defense force, know your SAPS, know the people that will help you when you're in trouble. Do we care enough to go to the ruralest of the ruralest areas? Yes. You will find us there. Do we heed the call when school children are saying, but why can't you take maths literacy instead of maths? And we explain to them that a fighter jet with maths literacy, show me the link. Where? How? 1 + 1? Never 11. So it's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. Get your pure maths correctly. Get the correct marks. So science. Because it's technology that changes every day that is in that cockpit. Can you understand that when you are in that jet, you are in a machine that costs more millions than you can even fathom? Do you understand that the training that you go through as a soldier, as a pilot, or in the sharp end, costs more than 2 million rands before you can even touch that cockpit? Ground school, where you learn basic flying. After there, you go and find your stream, whether it's transport, maritime, or fighter. You decide on your line. But that cannot be done with maths lit. Maths literacy, I don't know what it is, but they do. So if you are hoping to be anywhere near a fighter jet or near an asset that belongs to the defense force, better be sure that your marks are correct.
Do you think South Africans take the SANDF for granted?
It's at their own peril because they they only remember the South African National Defense Force when they're in trouble, and that should not be. We might appear to be scary people who carry guns, who wear camouflage, who are unapproachable, who are doing whatever they are doing, wherever they're doing it, and coming back home on the 15th and paying their bills. It's not that. I'm telling you that we've got flying days where school children are invited every Saturday at the museum here in Pretoria, Valhalla. Go there and explore. We are talking robotics now. We are talking space now. That is the language that we are talking about. We are talking a different way of conducting our operations. We are talking relevant doctrines, military doctrines that speak to today's nature of militaries. We can't be faulted for people who only use Google for fashion. We also can't be faulted for not being invited to your house, to your community, to your society, to the people that you live with, so that we can come and explain what our mandate is. And when bridges fall in the Eastern Cape, we are the first people that are there. You might not know. You might not be aware. But those that are aware understand that when fires are doused in the Western Cape, it's us in our aircraft. It's us. When Mozambique calls and says, we are worried, these floods are beyond our control, we are the first people to put our boots on. Mothers as we are, fathers as we are. There is no day that I will get a tasking and say, I can't go. I can't go because why? There's an oath somewhere. that people can just take out and say, by the way, when you agreed to be in the business of dyeing, by the way, when you said you love this uniform, but you must also love what it comes with. Akere when you stand proudly next to an ATM on the 15th, that's where you're going. And when our people die with their boots on, you better be sure that they're doing exactly what they're mandated to do. Because our code of conduct says that even at the risk of my own life, even at the risk of my own life. So that amounts to something because you only have one life. We miss beautiful moments with our kids. I leave a toddler at home and I come back after 2 years, that person is talking. They don't even know who I am. But that's not the aim. The aim here is that South Africans must be sure that when they're sleeping, we are awake. And we are not doing anything else but to secure the territorial integrity of this country. That is what Major August is about. And I am so happy, so happy that I'm seeing young people of this country, raising their hands and say, I want to join. Because I want to do my part. In this country that has so many challenges, socio-economic challenges, our young people are still fascinated by being mandated to protect their communities. They really do. Those that don't know, when they hear about forms, the forms are out, you will see the queues. People are putting in applications. Young people, strong young people, who have decided, you know what, even at the risk of my own life, please call my name. Having this rank comes with very, very serious responsibilities. But when I think of where I come from, I'm grateful because there's no place I'd rather be than here.
And I mean, that's very important, right? That you must still love what you do as Major Tebogo August. There's something that I want us to address before we wrap up. Two things. The issue of being called civilian.
Oh, yes.
You
are.
I don't know. And I look, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But during the workshop, that week that we were together,
Yeah.
ha ke tsebe why ehlaba.
Yeah,
You know, it bohloko when
Yeah.
a person's like,
Yeah, tsipa.
Civilian. It's just a civilian.
Okay.
What is it with soldiers and being clear
Yeah.
that you are a civilian?
Yeah, know your
Please
place.
behave
Know
like
your
one.
place.
Know your place,
Yes.
precisely.
Lanes, Nana, lanes. So, remember, soldiering is a lifestyle. You will not get it until you go and endure the basic military training. Anybody who has not, my mom is a civilian, she knows. I address it like that. My brothers are civilians. It is not derogatory in any way. It is just the difference between somebody who has gone to thorough training, and somebody who has not gone to thorough training. And I say thorough training consciously because there's training and there's thorough training. We've got our own jargon that you will not understand until you are in the mix. We've got our own vision that we have internalized. If you see 3 soldiers working there and a whole lot of civilians, you will see that those ones, although they're with civilians, those are soldiers just by the way they're walking. They walk with purpose. Their steps will be the same.
Even if they're in their civilian clothing.
Yeah, Anjay.
Okay.
They're walking. I'm
Okay.
walking with my mom at the mall.
Yes.
And my mom will be dragging me behind to say, no, by the way, nah. Although I'm 60, akele sole, my darling. So remember, walk like you are with people. My sister, people who are in my circle draw me back to say, by the way, and I analyze things differently also. I understand politics differently. I view the world differently because I'm quite aware of the fact that I'm a servant of the people. As a result, I need to command silently when I'm not in the barracks. I don't know whether you get that. I will still command, but kindly. I will still command even when we are at a social setting. I will sit where I can suss out the exit plan. I'm not going to sit there. No, forget. No. I need to see where the emergency exit is so that people can be safe in case anything happens here where we are.
My word.
I need to always have my phone charged because it can't be that I will not be found in case anything happens. They happen unconsciously, but that's the lifestyle that I'm trying to explain to you. But also the fact that I'm entrusted with so much, I'm given so much. So there is no room for excuse. Or there's no room to give mediocre service because everything is at your disposal. You've been trained thoroughly. What more do you need?
Let's quickly go through the ranks.
Right.
For people who don't know the SANDF. Let's start with the lowest all the way to the highest. What are the ranks and where do you then fit in?
Okay. In the Air Force, this is what happens.
Yes.
When you enter the system, you're an airman. Whether it's not gender orientated, you're just an airman. And then the next rank would be a lance corporal. The next rank will be a full corporal. Lance corporal will have 1 blue line.
Okay.
A full corporal will have 2 blue lines.
Okay.
And the roundel is also blue.
Okay.
You'll have a sergeant, 3 lines. You'll have a flight sergeant, 3 lines and an eagle. You will have a warrant officer. They will have the coat of arms
Okay.
on as ranks. After a warrant officer, we've got different warrant officers, senior warrant officers, chief warrant officers, but you will see a roundel and you will know it's a warrant officer.
Okay.
Those are the non-commissioned officers
Okay.
up until a warrant officer. From a warrant officer up, you will then become a lieutenant. You're an officer now. Cream of the crop starts, gold ranks. The ranks become gold. So it's 2, a lieutenant, one PEP would have a 1 line as a lieutenant. And then the full lieutenant will have 2 gold lines. And then you've got a captain with 3 gold lines. You'll have myself, the major, a thick line and a thin line. That is a major.
Okay.
Meaning from major up, you're a senior officer.
Aha.
You're strategic now.
Okay.
You're thinking on a commander's level. And the courses that you go through also make sure that you are ready to command.
Okay.
Now you can have your own section. Now you can have people under you. Now the strategic vision of the Air Force must start to be seen through to your juniors. And then you've got a lieutenant colonel. It's a thick line like mine, and 2 thin lines.
Okay.
Lieutenant colonel. And then you've got a full colonel, thick line and 3 thin lines.
Okay.
Then you've got a brigadier general. A brigadier general has swords and 1 line.
Okay.
Well, 1 line and swords.
Okay.
And then a major general, 2 lines, swords. Lieutenant general, the chief of the Air Force, 3 lines, a sword. That's it. And then in the South African National Defence Force, the highest ranking member is General Mapwanya. That's the chief South African National Defence Force.
Okay. What do you do to relax? What do you do for fun?
I hike.
Oh.
Why?
Why?
I'm very physical. I need to be combat ready, you know?
Okay, yes. I mean, I am
yeah.
speaking to a soldier.
I need to be combat ready at all times. I hike, I jog, I bungee jump. I love everything that has to do with the outside.
Okay.
And I read. because the kind of material that we consume these days is questionable. Unless you know what you want to consume, you will just float around. So I don't want to be caught not knowing how to help my kid with an assignment because I'm too busy with nothing. Also, I want to explore other mindsets, because the danger of one story is that it's just one story. But when you understand the world that is around you, you become kinder. You become forthcoming. You are confident, and the delivery will show that you care about others. I'm quite fascinated by ECD, early childhood development. I'm not sure whether it's because I grew up in a household where we owned ECDs or not, but these days, I'm quite fascinated by the fact that the government is taking ECDs seriously, and when you nurture the future of this country from that level, I'm sure there's little that you can do wrong, very little. And because we want committed servants, that is where it should start. They should know what aircraft we have in the Air Force. They should know. They've got a right to know that they are protected. They should know that there are people who are making sure every single day that our streets are safer.
What's next for you? Are you going to open an ECD? Call it the major ECD?
My next book is upcoming.
Nice.
It's done. It just needs to go for final editing and production.
Lovely.
Or printing rather. And then I'm simultaneously trying to push a children's book,
Okay.
which is almost there. I don't want to ever walk into a bookstore and have to look for a children's book that speaks about real life issues, because I was met with real life issues when I was a child. Things that I did not even have a language for. Dictum, I did not have the know-how to explain what happened to me. It's not going to be a serious book because kids aren't supposed to be too serious, but it'll be an acknowledgement and a hug to the younger me.
Nice.
So that's what is
That's
coming.
what you're busy with. Lovely. Thank you. Thank you
My
for your
pleasure.
time. Do I salute? No. I'm a civilian.
You're a civilian. Know your place.
Know your place, okay? Thank you so much.
It's only a pleasure.
Truly
my darling.
appreciate it. Major
It's only a
Debo for
pleasure.
August. She is a mom. She is an author. She's a soldier. And we thank her indeed for her service. Thank you for tuning in to Conversations with Eminent Women. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, remember to comment and don't forget to subscribe and to like and to share this very episode. Till next time, from myself, Tsokohajo Moaki, remember, wherever you go, just be kind and protect your peace. Bye-bye.